Welcome back, everyone. It's the Aces NBA show. We're a man down. I'm hearing Chet is out of the building and he's heading to Greece to call a few things over there. That's what he said. He's doing a bit of commentary, but I think that might just be a little bit of me time, boys.
Yeah.
I'm flat. I mean, I'm wearing this in his honour. We're missing out on, obviously, the mighty Kokonakis, but he's provided a lot. I hope we get him back on before we wrap up for the season, because besides that one segment with Jock Landale, he's provided a lot. He was very quiet in that one segment.
What about him and Jock? Couldn't have paired him and Jock worse. Just sat there like a kid in a candy store, didn't he? Just didn't say anything.
It was funny. I was looking at him on the right side of my face, and I was looking at him. Every time he go to
Someone else.
he just couldn't get the words out.
Try hosting a show with five big dogs. You know, there's a lot of egos on my right. I didn't know who to throw to.
It's tough, but also I have had a lot of people in recent weeks understand he is a dead ringer of Chet. We can talk about it now, but or I would say Chet's like the Timu.
Cock, really. 100%.
Like Cox, if Cox the Woolworth, he's the outie.
I mean,
Cock could be the Timu Chet.
Nah, not in the landscape of life in pro sports, if that's one. But I don't think. I think I'm taking Cock over Chet.
Hey, speaking of lookalikes, there's been a lot of talk about Cocky's tattoo and Zach Tui. If you don't know who Zach Tui is, he used to play AFL and very good, in fact, at Geelong there. And he looks identical to Cock's tat, like identical. There's a couple of comments online, and it's when you look at it properly, go have a look at it and compare.
Are we okay with? Again, I'm glad that he was open enough for talking about that. Are we agree? It's a miss. He called that a miss.
He said it was an air ball. He said it was an air ball. Now let's get straight in. There's plenty to talk about. Start with some housekeeping. Let's press. Let's go to the press. You told me you'd get some press when you come off the big TV reality show. What have you got for us?
Everyone's got a role on this show. You know, my role is just bring this show to the public. You know, get it out there. So I got it into the Daily Mail. You know, they wrote an article about it, but I don't know about Tommy. Did you see what it said?
No, I haven't read it.
It said former NBL players.
No, I'll read it out for you. I'll read it out for you right here. So in a surprise twist no one saw coming, Math's groom Jeff has taken an unexpected pivot to the basketball banter. That's all above board.
That's good.
This is where it gets interesting. The popular TV star, we okay with that? No,
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that.
Has joined forces with former NBL stars Pete Halli and Tommy Sheridan.
The shooting guard, baby.
I've looked up your NBL stats, Tommy, and that's a fair play. Daily Mail nailed that. You have some
I
of the
reckon my NBL stats are better than the AFL stats, to be honest with you. So you got to, is that a make or a miss?
No, that's a make. Any publicity is good publicity, they say.
Well,
I heard Tommy running around telling people, so have a look at this. People forget about my NBL. He's jumped on the back of that.
Well, I'll tell you who wasn't happy, and I reckon that's why the Cock's not here. He was filthy. We took him to the AFL, and we'll talk about your absence in a second. We thought, let's all go bond together and watch the greatest player to ever play at the GWS Giants play his 250th. And, weren't the cameras out? Cocky and our man Jeffrey all over the AFL socials, but Cock was filthy with a couple of people in the comments. He was sitting there as he is scrolling, and what was the comments?
My favorite couple of comments were, the first one was, "Who's that bloke with Jeff Goebbels?"
No, he could not cop that one.
Because the caption also said, "Thanasi Kokonakis, tennis star," and then someone said, "Tennis star's a stretch."
He was not happy.
And then the one that Cock actually replied to was...
He replied to one. I saw them coming in.
He replied to one, and it goes, are those two guys off maths?
There you go. So the Cock said, I've had enough. I'm not rolling in.
Go on, hit me, because I've been waiting to tee off on this. Go on.
Well, we need to get straight into the show, but before we do, mate, where were you? It's a team effort. Cocky's the busiest man in Melbourne. He's off international. I think he's doing some commentary. He said, "I'll be there, boys," and we're one man down.
Now, are you
going to apologise? Because we're going to apologise shortly.
As far as I'm aware, I'm as far as you guys are aware. Do you have children?
No.
As far as you're aware.
As far as
I was caught up. I couldn't get anything. Got no family here, so I wanted to. And to be honest, I had such FOMO. I was like, man, I want to be there. This is going to be great. A 12:30 bounce for footy as well. I was like, this is perfect, prime beer drinking weather. I'm so glad I didn't go when I saw the inserter levels from you blokes. Tommy, I completely understand. You couldn't even spell Toby Green, let alone be in there. And everyone's, you're in the roofs, you're in there with the banner. I'm looking at it just like, how have you guys inserted your blokes into this milestone?
Mate, we're in the huddle when they were singing the song after the game. Were that involved?
Amazing day. The Giants, they look after you.
Jeff at one point texts me and goes, "This is the best A-League game I've ever seen." I'm like, Jeff, it's the Giants, mate. It's footy.
That's a disgrace from you. Well, let's get into some NBA action. But before we start, look, you've just apologised. I don't know if I can accept that one. It was a bit of a dig back at us. But I want to go back to last week's show. And if anyone missed it, let's just roll the footage here and play a little clip from last week's discussion of who would you rather? Who would you rather right now? Julius Randle or Jalen Williams?
Randle in this playoffs has been better.
Right now.
In this playoffs, right now, Randle's been better.
They both missed 13 games exactly, and the record is 13-0 without J-Dub. They don't need him.
That has nothing to do with the individual talent.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
OKC is sad. Is that? OKC is sad.
I'm just saying.
You suit that headband.
I'm taking Randall. I'm
going to take Randle at the moment. He's a beast. What? Just right now, Randle, man, he can rebound. He's got the 3-ball going, and he's been more consistent scoring. Jalen Williams hasn't been consistent the last 5 games.
Yep.
That's
fair. I agree with that.
Yeah. But I'm not talking, we're talking right now.
So like at the exact time that they're both sleeping, who's better?
Yes.
I think Jalen Williams is better. I think he's better.
So, boys, there you go. We had a discussion about our man Julius Randle and Jalen Williams. Look at Fistel over there, just loving it. Well, it wasn't well received. I got our man, one of our big fans, Chris Campbell. He's big shout out to you, great man. He's always in the comments on YouTube, in the DMs, and he actually wrote in. That's how angry he was. He goes, I don't know how to say this without putting you down, but I'm a big fan of the pod. And I said, well, why don't you send me a video? Let's play the video that he's got to show us on the show and some feedback for the boys.
G'day, lads. Just chucking Julius Randle in the trash where he belongs. Jalen Williams and Julius Randle. I thought it'd be a pretty easy choice, isn't it, Pistol? But clearly these 3 Muppets don't have any idea what they're talking about. I mean, Train, Colgate Sheridan, the park footballer, the worst punter in Australia. You got no idea. I mean, Jeffrey Goebel's maths. That's all I know about you. That's embarrassing. And Cocky, Randle is about as trustworthy as your right peck, mate.
Jeez, he hasn't missed us on the drive-by there.
Yeah, that is a drive-by.
Jeez, I didn't expect him to end up that way. And to be fair, he's nailed that. I was sitting there getting bombarded last week, and the 2 games that Randle played after. Now, you tried to put the spin on it. You were like, no, we're talking about just the playoffs. But what was your question? Who would you rather take right now?
Right now was the question.
And I said Jalen Williams all day, every day. And he's made all 3 of you look like potatoes.
But do you know what the great quality in a person is? Is when they can admit they're wrong, they know they made a mistake, and they put their hand up.
Yep.
And I think we can both safely say, along with Cocky, that we made a massive mistake. I'm sorry, J-Dub. We love you. You are better than Julius Randle. He is shit.
I love the trash. I'll tell you what, if you watch the first quarter, you should put 3 trash bags out. He was trash. They turned the ball over. He couldn't even dribble. And I was thinking, I need a big game. He had 24 points. What did he end up going? He was actually pretty good from the field. I know that. On the stat sheet, it looks okay, but he was terrible early. And we were texting. I said, can't wait for today's pod. I need to hurry up and apologise. So to everyone out there, I just want to apologise. Poor take, a miss.
Are you taking now? You're taking J-Dub.
It was a bit like when Cocky said, Gobert is trash, and he come out and had 26 and 22 or whatever. So I feel like Jalen must be listening or something, because he has been enormous since last week. What do you have, 34 last game?
We had 15 or something in the first quarter.
Mate,
and I was like,
unbelievable.
And I'm sitting back just watching it being like, the pod's a few days away. So this is absolutely, when if it was 2-on-2, like last week, I would have been okay, but all 3 of you were just completely against me. I held firm. And to be fair, also though, I was due a mate because I've missed a couple.
I was literally about to say, Pete should be happy. That's the only call you've gotten right so far.
Yeah, and it's the only one we had the fan response from. So that's I rate that, by the way. That's how we want to hear from the fans.
I love that. And
that's elite.
If it's just feedback, just
constructive criticism.
Just constructive. So Colgate obviously having a go at the Chompers and Park Footballer. I know exactly what you mean by that. Geez, I've just copped a few drive-bys and I fucking love it. Keep them coming. All right, let's get into some basketball. Let's start with OKC advance. I want to break down Game 5 today. It was 94-124. The benches were unloaded early. OKC suffocated Ant Edwards in the last 2 games and the Wolves. But I want to start with this, boys, and you guys can take it away here. I've just written a couple of notes. But Game 5, season on the line. You're obviously going into enemy territory there. 9 points at quarter time, the fewest ever in franchise history. 12 from 39 and 14 turnovers at the half. You boys take it away from there. What is going on?
It's a disgrace for, like, I understand sometimes you just don't miss shots, but to just have 9 points. And again, it goes to everyone when they go to review it. Like, a lot of the team now probably checked out, they're already on the way to Cancun, but actually the ones who want to sit back and realize, where did this go wrong? Even the coaches will be doing it too, being like, how do we get in a position where we have 9 points? Like, should we have got some subs in early, maybe run some stuff for Dante DiVincenzo or Naz Reid? Do we go even deeper into our bench? Randle was really poor to start. You mentioned the suffocation of Ant Edwards. It's hard. I know people are going to come at Ant being like, this is what you asked for and you couldn't step up. OKC is the best defensive team in the league.
Yeah.
And again, they've shown in the playoffs time and time again that they've just got different guys to continue to roll at the superstars of the other team. And we'll talk about what next year means a bit later on in the show for some other teams. I don't think Lou Dort will be at OKC next year. I think they're going to have to make a move with him just based on his contract now, where it's going to be at with all of that. But they've got Wallace who's continuing to emerge and to be that next kind of Lou Dort. Man, you just can't get a breather if you're Ant Edwards, though. It's nuts.
I didn't think Ant was the problem. I thought he was making plays.
Yeah.
McDaniels missed 3 open threes in a row. Ant actually got to the ring a couple of times just to, I think he had 6 in the first quarter and he was, as you said, he's getting double teamed. But it was the defense. Caruso on Randle, it's like it was hard to watch. Naz Reid couldn't dribble the ball. He was falling over his own feet. But that's how much pressure, the perceived pressure was there as well. I couldn't believe the amount of turnovers. I mean, we're probably being a bit harsh on the Wolves, or we're just not giving, what I'm trying to say is we're not giving OKC enough credit.
Yeah.
The defense is something I've never seen before, especially in that first quarter.
Oh, that is the most well-structured defensive unit I think I've almost ever seen.
Yeah.
But you're right. Like, in terms of the Wolves, we probably are being a little bit too harsh with them. But also, you look at their lineup and there's no one else there besides Ant that can really generate their own offense. Randall's, like, he's a bit robotic. He's not a slasher. He doesn't really crash. He's bash and crash.
Turns the ball over.
He tries to get on the low block and then he does the fadeaways. But when you're getting suffocated and double teamed, he doesn't know what to do.
He's way too inconsistent to be the second, like a
100%.
Robin.
They need another player.
We'll talk about what they need next. Yeah, but they need an extra superstar to go along for the OKC have 3, right? And again, we'll talk about it with the Pacers. Like, you need to have this structure. And to be fair, like, Naz Reid didn't have the series that we expected. I expected him to be averaging 15 plus a game. I think 11 was his highest in the series. DiVincenzo had some moments. They just didn't have enough people come along.
Can I ask a question? Why even play Rudy Gobert and have Naz Reid play half the game time? Like Naz plays 24 minutes and then Rudy plays 19 and both of them have no impact.
This is what Doc was talking about.
Yeah, and this is what I talked about also with the decisions about the coaching, probably looking back. Isaiah Hartenstein plays like 9 minutes in the first half and then starts the third quarter. And if they need to use him again, they do. And they just play small with like Chet at the 5, maybe even Jalen Williams, the other one. They continue to roll out the big man lineup. And I just don't think they had enough. You need the offense from Naz Reid. I would have switched it up, but I'm not the coach.
Yeah. But you're right. Like Jock said the other week, coaches in the NBA these days are too worried about offending their own players. It's like, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Sit them on the bench.
Well, I reckon it might be coming down to his contract. We'll talk about what moves you need to make in a second. But when you're on $43.8 million, that's Rudy Gobert.
Is that really?
That's his contract. That's what he's on this year. And you're getting this type of performance that he had today, 2 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block.
Jeez,
I don't mind if you don't score, but then do something on defense. But Chet was enormous. And his numbers don't reflect his game. Chet had 22 points, but I think he had 14 in the first quarter. Yeah. He was just like, bang, game over. Yeah, 2 threes. They couldn't stop it. I think he had 3 blocks. I thought it was 4. But there's no defense from Rudy. There's no offense. And there's not even any rebounding. So what's the point of having him on the court?
I can't believe the cock's not here to have the
Rudy. I know.
That's
why I'm flat the cocks are laid out.
As if he didn't send us a video just teeing off on Rudy.
Well, the truth is, the reason he's not here is because of this passport issue that he has. He had to get it sorted with the embassy today. So we are flat because I wanted that apology from him and I wanted to get his take on Rudy Gobert and where he should be next year. Before I lead to that question, boys, we've seen Ant get locked up. I've seen Steph Curry get locked up. I've seen some of the best get locked up the last 6 months, but especially in the playoffs. Is SGA unguardable?
Oh, he is the best in the league at the moment at creating space, which in turn makes him pretty much unguardable. His hesitation moves and the pace of play that he goes at is like something I've never really seen before. He's just so under control. A bit Jordan-esque, you'd say, in the mid-range.
I mean, the fact is, if you're going down the path of just complaining about like the free throw merchant, the fouling, he's doing something right.
It's craft.
He's playing by the rules. The rules are there. James Harden made the rules change, right? With the sweep through, they had the James Harden rule come in. What he's doing is getting guys in the air, leaving their feet and jumping into him. There's plenty of times where he jumps in, causes contact, and you're like, you got to let that one go. But he's just a really, really smart operator the way he goes about it. Is it fun to watch? Probably not. It is not good to see a guy go to the free throw line, but he is an absolute superstar mentally in the way that he's doing it. So you can't fault it because it works. He's a stud. Because of that, though, the answer to your question, Tommy, he's unguardable. He's completely unguardable.
Do you know the thing is, you look at him compared to Ant, and SGA never looks flustered, never looks tired, and then you look at Ant, and he just looks flustered and tired basically the whole series.
That's the supporting cast issue.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Because
Ant can't throw it anywhere. He's got the
Correct.
defense isn't the same.
Yeah.
He just got a bit more energy, you can tell.
If Naz Reid, DiVincenzo knocking down threes at a high rate, Randle being the Robin that he needed to be, and they wouldn't be able to double team Ant do all this because other guys are knocking down shots. In the end, OKC's thinking, let's just get the ball out of Ant's hands. No one else is going to beat us right now, and they didn't.
And every time Ant wanted to score, it was an explosive move, which, as we know, takes up a lot of energy. No wonder he looked cooked at quarter time.
I don't want to say they overachieved because it's easy to say that now in hindsight. I think they had a tremendous season, but I think they were always one piece away, like really one key piece away. And there'll be opportunities to go and make some plays for these guys when we talk about it. But yeah, they have to make some sort of move. It's just not enough.
Do you think if they kept Cat, that would have been the
No, I don't think. I still think because Cat and Naz Reid are similar. Cat's obviously way better, but like the similar type of player. So I think they made the right move in that. They need that other guy who can actually make plays. Like they need that.
like a small forward, a good small forward.
I mean, they need KD.
Yeah.
If they can go and land Kevin Durant, that's kind of the piece that they probably need to go and get. Giannis is going to be a little harder to do all of that, but they need another playmaker.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, that's the next segment. Let's turn into GM mode right now. If you are making a move at the Minnesota Timberwolves, what are the moves you're making this summer? And just on that, before I start, it just come out after the game, but I saw a quote that Ant Edwards had in his press conference. It's a really good one. You can see why you just love to have him there. Nobody's going to work harder than me this summer. Ant Edwards after losing the Western Conference Finals. You just love a player that I don't think he drinks. I think he's very dedicated to his craft, and and you can see that he's three. You know, his three ball was something that he worked on in the summer, and it's been, I think he had the most threes for the whole, in the whole competition. So he's going to go to a new level. But as we just said, he needs a Robin. So boys, I open up to you. If you're GM, what are you doing? What move are you making?
Firstly, that's great hearing that from your leader. That's what you want to hear. That's the message you want to put out to the team. So I love hearing that from Ant. But Pete just hit the nail on the head there. Durant's definitely the man for them. And there's so many reasons why. Obviously, they need another person that can create their own offense. He's a small forward. He's basically unguardable, so he'll stretch the floor. But also, too, he's Ant's childhood hero.
Yeah.
Like those two being paired together, and Ant spoke about that when they played in the USA team together. That would be just unreal. And Ant could learn so much off him, especially when you look up to someone, you just respect them. You're willing to go that extra mile.
I don't know how they get it done because I don't know the actual ins and outs with their draft picks and everything. Because Phoenix need draft picks back if they're going to get rid of KD because Phoenix are in a lot of trouble there. KD would be awesome. I don't know who else they'd have to kind of package up to do it.
Get Rudy's gone, so whatever you can do with Rudy.
I don't know if he is though. They might have to package around that because I'm looking at Ant's 23.
He's so young.
So do you go with KD, who's got a couple years left in his prime, or do you try and go even younger? They're not like a Booker type.
It's a win now mentality if you go for Durant. And just on the future picks, Timberwolves future first round picks, 2028 is the only one they have.
Ooh.
They've got seconds, 2025. They've got two of them, one in the 26, 129 and 131. They don't have a lot of picks to give away.
So it's going to have
someone like a Naz Reid. Like there's players that you might just have to offload to get a big dog in. But if Naz stays, I want to talk about Rudy Gobert. What's the point of keeping him around? I don't know I think his contract might be running out soon. But if it's not, it's not working. He's not.
What's the like? I know how his contract's so big. I don't know what the value they'd get back for him. It'll be a multi-team. KD's going to be a multi-team trade. That's not going to be a straight thing.
100%.
They've got players though. Like they've got players that you could offload, like DiVincenzo and even like
You
know
need good
SGA's
role
cousin.
players,
He goes all
veterans.
right, but he's just off the pine. Like,
Alexander Walker, he was unbelievable in this series.
didn't he suck me in today on the points bet SGM? Gee, what he scored 0. I mean, he sucked me in a beauty. 22 points last game, and then what he had 0 today. Unbelievable.
Tommy's right. You can't just give away 4 or 5 players because then who are you going to replace them with?
So you
as
need,
well?
and
So, I
again,
guess.
the Pacers have proven this too. Okay, so you need role players to go along with this, and guys who have been there, done that. The Pacers, which we want to talk about it now, this is the back-to-back conference finals in the East that they've been to, with a very similar, if not the exact same team, based on just understanding everyone works well together.
Even our man Jock could go to the bloody Timberwolves. You're not getting anything out of Rudy Gobert is the point. I want to go over some stats and this is why I'm flat that Cocky's not here, because since that game I was rooting for Rudy because I wanted to see Cocky flat in the big Chet outfit.
Yeah.
Game 1, when you want to set the tone as the big man, he had 2 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block. Terrible game. Game 2, let's see if he responds. He has 5 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block. A nothing game. Game 3, 7 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. A nothing game. And then we get a bit of something from him in game 4. 13 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block, but still not like a game where you go, he was enormous. And then today, season on the line, do or die. He has 2 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block. And again, I'll repeat his contract, $43.8 million is what he was on this year. You can't tell me that he's going to be there next year. What's the point?
He's never been an offensive talent though. So
He's
you're
not doing anything defensively.
I know.
Defensively, he's done.
So, but I think because they need a more offensive talent, and I'm not trying to be the opposite of Cocky here. He was very poor in this series, but they need other offensive talent so it doesn't have to rely so much on him to do what he did so well at Utah. So, but again, the contract, is he living up to that? No, clearly he's not. But I don't know what they package in to get that. They need an impact playmaker.
Righto. It's time for our man Chrissy Campbell to listen up. It's we got another game of Who Would You Rather, and this one is going to be in their prime. So in their prime, who would you rather? SGA, Jalen, and Chet, or KD, Russ, and James Harden?
Oh, boy.
It's an easy one for me though.
Okay.
I mean, I'm a KD guy, so I'm going to take those 3 in their prime. We haven't seen Chet or J-Dub's prime yet, or probably SGA's prime, so it's hard to know.
Well, you're seeing something right now that's pretty good though.
Can I give you the counter argument to that? This isn't my decision, but if they win a championship,
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
and they're literally paying $1.20 to win the
And
championship.
did he
at the
just
moment.
say they're not in their prime yet?
Yes.
No, they're not. They're not. You would agree though. They're not.
Exactly. That's why it's I'm leaning one way than the other.
What do you
Really?
think, Tommy?
I've asked you.
Okay, go
I'm
first.
taking in their prime, like KD, arguably the greatest scorer of all time. Russ, what he did, averaging a triple-double. James Harden. We actually never saw those 3 together in their prime either. I think if they didn't break that team up, I think OKC would have had titles though. I really do. If they didn't break up those 3 together, I think they would have had titles, which probably changes this to put a bit of an asterisk towards it. So I'm taking those 3. I have, as much as I love J-Dub as well, I'm taking those. If they didn't break up Russ, Harden and KD, they're winning titles for sure. They were right there. And I say break it up, they
Shoulda,
broke it up
woulda, coulda,
themselves.
they didn't.
You taking the others?
I'll let the great man go first.
Well, even after what I just said, I'm actually with Pistol on this.
I
actually am.
You waited for his opinion, you weak dog.
I actually am, no. Because like Pete said, like they're 3 generational talents. Like it's yet to be seen with the other guys. SGA, obviously, yes. But, you got 3 MVPs there as well.
You're a smart man, Jeff.
So I do think those, if they played a 3-on-3 game, I mean, I think we know the result.
Yeah, and again, if they'd stayed together, I don't want to say if they didn't broke them up,
but
because
also,
there was all the
ego is a big thing, isn't it, in the NBA? And they all had an ego by the looks of it.
Yeah, all the superstars do. But Tommy, your answer?
Well, it's a team game, boys, and this is why I disagree with you. I don't think any of them can play together. That's why they left. They don't play team basketball, and that's why I'll be taking Chet, SGA, and Jalen Williams.
You probably have the last. They'll win it this year, and you probably have the last laugh.
We're talking about who would you rather on your team to win a chip. We're not here to talk about stats. I couldn't care less about MVPs, and I don't think anyone does. They want trophies and rings.
They also,
Well, that's a different conversation.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Who would you rather?
Our team.
We're trying to build a winning franchise.
You're telling me right now, like if we had those 3 on the same team in their prime versus the other.
Well, we have to predict the prime of what the other 3 are because we haven't seen it yet. So if you can predict what you're going to see out of SGA, Jalen, and Chet, it's scary.
It is, but I'm still. The prime of the other three was three of the best.
They haven't worked together.
They only had a limited window to do
and
it.
they still made the finals.
How many rings has James Harden won?
None.
How many's Russ won?
None.
KD?
Well, I mean, he went to the Warriors.
How many has SGA won?
But they didn't do it all
He's
together.
about to win one. But they're about to win 3.
But they are in the same position that team was in as well. All they've done right now.
I just thought it'd be a great discussion. Yes. I want to throw it to everyone in the comments. Get in YouTube, or if you're on Spotify, Apple, whatever it is, in the socials, let us know. This is great. We disagree. I want to see what you think at home. Do you think it's SGA, Jalen, and Chet, or is it KD, Russ, and Harden, and it's the OG OKC? It's a great little photo I saw today, so I thought I'd throw it in there. Right, let's get to the other series, and it's a cracker. It's probably been a little bit disappointing, but it still has potential to go to 7, in my opinion. They just need to make some kind of shift. Look, obviously that comes from a bit of I'm leaning more Knicks, but let's start with game 3. Cat's in foul trouble, shock. But his fourth quarter, it's enormous, and it ends up getting him over the line because Brunson was in foul trouble as well. Cat, in his fourth quarter, had 20 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 from 4 he was from downtown. When he can do that in a quarter, how much does this man frustrate you guys?
That all happened after my text message to the group.
Let's talk about receipts. So, Jeff, 11:47. This was about midway through the third quarter.
Yeah, it was.
Cat is pathetic. I replied with the eyeballs as Cat starts to go off. Tommy starts laughing. And then how's this? We've seen some massive headlines these days. We're all in the media. Tommy Sheridan. Knicks win would be enormous for the series. They're down 2-0. Them not going down 3-0 would be enormous for the series. But that was again.
You're going to give me a drive-by after he says Cat is horrific and then that's 20 and I said believe.
Yeah.
Didn't I say believe?
You did.
Believe.
And they did. That was massive. It was hilarious. You couldn't have timed that any better.
That was unbelievable.
Well, let's get to game 4. That was elite. But what the Halli? Career night. This man, honestly, we'll talk about the Pacers, but him in general. I hope they've got cameras behind the scenes because it's some of the most interesting stuff I've ever seen. 30 points, 15 assists, and 0 turnovers. It's a game like no other. And with all the big shots he's making, and he is the face of that franchise, it's hard to defend the Knicks anymore when the Pacers have so many different players and this bloke does not turn the ball over. What's your thoughts on him and his performances?
I still don't know. I put this out there on Twitter of asking people. I've never seen an athlete clap back to like the noise of like most overrated, like the run that he's done. Now, I always rated him. I always thought he was a very good player. At the time when he signed that contract, I had questions. I was like, geez, that's a massive contract to throw at someone who hasn't proven it yet. But to have all the media be asking him about it and not shy away from it and then have clutch performances, the comebacks, the games like that, I can't recall a clap back from an athlete like this. Like this is him just shoving it to everyone's face, like
100%.
And then some.
Think of the drama though. Like I think this would be the greatest documentary of all time if they go on and win a ring. His old man start with that towel incident in front of Giannis.
Yeah.
Like that's the first part, right? Then all the buzzer beaters and then the comebacks. Like we've never seen them before. These are stats. They're the only ones ever to do it.
Stephen A. Smith saying he's not a superstar.
Like
Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying. There's so much negative press.
Yeah.
And they keep winning and they keep performing individually and collectively.
People have gone with the would you rathers as well. And this is one for the fans out there as well to ask. So in 2011 was the unbelievable run that the Mavs went on when Dirk just went on that generational run. His team, nowhere near as talented as everyone else. In round 1, they beat the Blazers. It was a young Blazers team with LaMarcus Aldridge and Brandon Roy, one of my favorite players of all time. Round 2, they swept the defending champs with Kobe, Pau Gasol. And then the Western Finals is when they beat KD, Russ, and James Harden. And then in the finals, they beat LeBron, D. Wade, and Chris Bosh. Miami. And everyone was like, this is the greatest ring of all time. I don't think the Pacers can beat OKC, but they've proven me wrong and everyone else wrong to this point. If they go on and win it, we're having that conversation between that and the Dallas Mavericks 2011 ring. That's a legitimate conversation. They beat the Bucks. Mind you, the Bucks had some issues. I don't think the Bucks were going to go on that much deeper run. They embarrassed the best team in the East all year, the Cavs. Mm-hmm. And what they're doing right now to the Knicks, they're embarrassing them.
Well, they could beat them in 5. The reality is
there'll be riots in Manhattan.
The fact that New York hasn't won at home.
Oh my God. Yeah, you're right. It's a historic run, and but it's funny. It gets to the finals. Obviously, we're assuming that Indiana get through, and just say they go up 2-0 to OKC. We'll be sitting here going, like, I'm sort of not surprised at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a different kettle of fish when we're talking OKC.
But
yeah, but I don't think we would because
they keep surprising
Yeah,
us.
exactly. You're right. You're spot on with all of that. It's And again, people are starting to now go, they've already started like 5 days ago. If we get an OKC Pacers finals, no one's going to watch. This is boring. It's bad for the league. It's all over all the media outlets. This is not the way we should be talking about the finals.
I don't think it is because they're so hard to defend.
I'm
you don't really know what you're going to get.
I've enjoyed watching the Pacers play in this playoffs more than any other team not named OKC because of how well they play together, because of all the guys that come off the bench. TJ McConnell's a stud in his role. Neesmith stepped up. I would arguably say that if that is the finals, which we think it probably will be unless the Knicks have a miraculous comeback, I think that's going to be the most exciting finals we've seen in a while.
And you look at the two teams, they're actually very similar in terms of the matchups.
Yeah.
Both got star point guards.
It'd be interesting to see how Chet and then Turner, Hartenstein, or just all those bigs go because even on that, who would Dort go to? Because I want to talk about Halliburton in a second.
Oh, that's good, Halliburton.
But how do you how do you stop Halliburton's influence? Let's go back to the Knicks. We guys are jumping you're making out like this series is over. I still think you got to believe, boys. A bit like the fourth quarter. Believe. There's still a pulse. I can feel that there's a pulse. Okay, they're going back to New York. They can win that one. They can then go to Pacers and win that, and then they can win in Game 7. That's what we need. It's a fucking entertainment business. All right. Now listen here.
Our show needs a Game 7 though.
Yeah, we definitely. You need it for your paycheck. Okay, so how do we get Halliburton to stop his influence on games? Well, what are you doing if you are the Knicks?
Got to be physical.
What about Bridges? Is Bridges not being paid? Haven't they just traded their future?
He's not a physical defender.
Well, who stops Halliburton? Because it's almost like he can't be stopped.
From the Knicks?
Yeah.
I don't think they have an answer.
But there's got to be an answer, at least a plan. If you're the coach, what's your plan?
I'm trying Josh Hart to be a bit physical. He's coming off the bench now because I think Bridges' length is just not a worry because Tyrese is weirdly long too the way he plays. So I think because OKC will just throw Lou Dort, Wallace, and it's a bit of a stronger, and I think they'll have a better chance to shut him down. But he's also, you can't shut down confidence either. When guys are just on any sport, just playing with this level of mental like clarity and confidence, they're balling.
It's also their ball movement though, and the structure. Like there's so much chaos. It's hard to defend because they don't know where to go. You know, like you're trying to hand over.
They've got one superstar. That's to your point. So you can't actually scout it. You're actually looking at it as like, okay, we've got to look at Tyrese. But you're right. You look at the Knicks. Well, it's either Brunson's going to shoot it, Cat's going to shoot it next, maybe OG, and then Bridges will shoot the other couple of shots. So you can plan around that. They're only playing 6 guys. The Pacers, they're all just shooting confidently, playing as a team.
And also too on Halli, like he gives it to you in so many different ways.
Yeah.
He'll give you the 15 assists, or he'll give you 30 points, or he'll do both at the same time. So he's very hard to defend when a player is on ball, off ball.
And he's also hard to bet on. I'm serious. There's days where you go, he can't score 15 points and he's just distributing the ball. And then there's days where he's really aggressive. And it just comes down to what the defense gives him.
He's a sneaky good rebound. Loves stealing. Again, I'm a big Siakam boards guy. Like I like to watch that. And that man flies in and just rips them. And I'm like, Tyrese, you have no right to get that.
Well, we have cooked something up. We've got our little Cancun fun coming up later on. It's a bet that we've got on PointsBet. It's an SGM. We've cooked it up. It'll send you to Cancun if it hits. Stay tuned for that. All right, let's keep moving through this series. I've already asked you, what do the Knicks need to do in Game 5 and 6?
Hit shots.
Yeah.
It's the only, I mean,
You
they
guys
can't.
sound defeated. Like, there's answers to this shit.
Pete's
I
right.
don't know if there is, man. They
They've
can't
won one
defend.
game. I feel like you need to slow the pace of the game down.
They're
That's the
light
first thing. You can't.
There are light posts out there, though, defensively. They're just doing this.
But Cat can't get this. Cat, you can't get in foul trouble, and you need to score early. And Brunson also can't get in foul trouble, and you need to slow the pace down. They can't play at this frantic pace, or paces will
They've
blow
got
them out
two
of water.
defenders. They've got Anunoby and Bridges.
Well,
So
you got to.
defense is the issue, not offensive.
The Pacers scored 130 on.
I
Like
know,
every time. What's the Pacers gone each time? How many points have they scored?
We
Have
can
you
at
got
least
that?
prepare the host before you ask those questions live on the show. Okay. I've got it on the laptop. I've got the phone with the Rixies here for you later. What else do you want from me? Fucking hell.
I do want the Rixies.
The Rixies are good. We love a Rixie.
All right, well, so you got no answers. All right, well, let's keep moving then because I think the Knicks will have some answers. Do you have an answer?
No, I was going to say Brunson probably not dribbling the ball for 15 to 17, 18 seconds every play.
Well, that's because he's got nowhere to throw it. All right, well, let's keep our eyes on that. I want to go to some fun facts before we get to another fun segment. But here's some fun facts from me, boys. The Knicks are 0-15 in situations where they've been down 3-1 in the playoffs, including the 3 previous instances against the Pacers, once in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Celtics, and 4 times in the NBA Finals. So that's a terrible stat. The Pacers have also never, ever blown a 3-1 series lead in the playoffs. There is also, that's the zero. That's history. But we love seeing history get broken. There's all the history's been made this series with the Pacers. Well, guess the number of times a team down 3-1 in the best of 7 series in the NBA history have won the series.
It's like 2, isn't it?
So, yeah.
13.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 13.
Oh.
13.
So there's actually more
In
of
the
a...
finals, I think it might be 2 then.
Yeah, you're right.
That's yeah. I mean, again, I think the Knicks have more individual talent than the Pacers. I think we can all agree. I think Bridges, you match up with him. Brunson, Halliburton, I don't know.
I can't take that serious. He thinks they've got more talent.
Individual
and he's just
talent.
got no answers as well. I can't work this out.
I think they've got more individual talent, but I think they just don't play together as a team. It's too much isolation ball. And right now, the team of the Pacers are playing with a confidence that they trust each other the whole way down. 8 guys. As I said, TJ McConnell makes $9 million a year for a bench guy who comes in, and he loves
He's
playing
worth
in
every
MSG.
penny, though.
He
Worth
is.
every penny.
He's a stud.
Well, 13 times in the history of playoff basketball. That's that could be the first round. So it's not good numbers if you're the
If
Knicks.
they win this one, though, and the little seed goes to Indiana, and then if you win, you're right. If they get to a game 7,
How good would it be if they can get back to New York for game 7?
Oh.
And how heartbreaking would it be if they blew it?
well, that's what we'll talk. well, that's what the Celtics did that a couple of years ago in Miami.
They did.
They did.
Got to game 7.
They got to game 7 and blew it.
And then just absolutely lost the ball.
And then the Heat lost to the Nuggets. So I think, again, either way, when we have a lot to jam pack for like next week's episode, if they lose this and they lose in 5, we're talking about what's next for the Knicks. Well, we can spend the whole podcast on that.
Well, yeah, we'll be probably. Well, I think game 1 is Friday next week.
Right, so we'll have an episode to break
we'll have
down
some time.
what's next and preview that kind of
We'll
stuff.
have some time.
Yeah.
All right, one more extra fun fact, but I just wanted to play guess the top 3 NBA players with the most games to never win a title. Can you give me 3, boys? I've got the list here.
Oh, jeez.
Off the top.
Vince Carter.
No, active.
Oh, active.
Sorry.
It was Al Horford up until last year, but he won.
So the most games played among players to never win a title,
Russell
active
Westbrook?
playars only. Russ is 2nd.
Mike Conley?
He's
No.
4th.
Ooh.
Can you guess 1, 3, and 5?
1. Who do we think?
And if it
won?
takes too long, I'll read them out.
Are we in the playoffs? Can you give us that?
Think of Cocky's favourite player.
Gobert.
Not Rudy.
CP3, of course. Yeah,
He's
CP3.
number 1.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Yes,
He's played 1,354 games.
Give us the conference of the other one.
Oh,
then-
Harden?
Harden's 5.
Oh,
So we got 3 to go.
Guess 3.
What conference?
He's just been traded to the Kings this year.
DeRozan.
Yep. So Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, DeMar DeRozan, Mike Conley, and James Harden.
You've done well to pull that out.
Yeah,
to be
you've
honest.
done really well. Play that game at home. But yeah, most games played among players to never win a title. And geez, it's a lot of games.
That's why I love seeing Al Horford win it last year. And I love Chris Paul. I think the Spurs, we'll talk about this next week maybe. We'll talk about the Spurs next week when we can fill some more time. I'm so excited for the Spurs. We'll save that. I can go for ages. They're going to be unbelievable.
Well, I had another question. Why do the Knicks play better when they are heavily down? But let's just avoid that because you guys don't have any answers when it comes to the Knicks.
Which means they're going to win this series.
Exactly.
Wait, when are you doing your thing?
After the series?
Well, I think we put it to the comments, but I thought if the Knicks get beat tomorrow, we'll kick off NBA Finals with a bit of fun down at the NBA store, and big shout out to them for supporting us with these jerseys. And I reckon we can get you kitted out and handing out flyers, and they might have some promotional deals. I think end of financial year sales coming up. In fact, the Rixies are going to be end of financial year soon. So you want to put them on and check out.
Jeez, if I had my pair, I would. If I had my pair, I would.
Just still get online,
If I
mate. Use the
had my
discount code
pair, I
ACES.
would.
If you use a discount code, if you use a Jeffrey, you can get
Use Jeffrey, you get aces, whatever you
20%
want.
off.
Righto, around the league, a brand new segment. Here we go. Let's get around the league, boys. Have you caught up online? I'll start with this one. The lads punting on Angel Reese to miss the first basket 3 days in a row. Have you caught them, lads?
It's brutal, but it is hilarious.
I've seen it pop up. It's gone viral very, very quickly.
That's
It's gone
remarkable. Get on PointsBet and just create a market for Rudy Gobert maybe next series to miss his first shot. That's something I never even thought you could bet on. But these blokes in America are having a field day on Angel Reese, and they live stream it. If you haven't seen the clip, go check it out.
We dominate in America with the betting things you can
You
bet
can
on.
create your
Have you
own.
seen the ones where it was like Luca got that video play, the tribute video, if you'd cry or not?
Cry or not. Yeah, if
And
you
you
can
get-
create your own stuff like that.
That'd be unbelievable.
There is endless things.
It's like the Super Bowl if like Donald Trump will pop up on the camera.
And to be fair, back in the day, you actually couldn't bet on like marks. So you're all right. You're all right.
Oh, Jesus. How's that little clip? Wow.
I noticed that you got the hat on this week, so Caruso.
yeah,
the lollipop
the
over there didn't like
lollipop.
it.
He was feeling good about himself.
I can't
I
do it.
noticed that you got the hat on today. You didn't want to just roll out the lollipop.
I'm in trouble. I've admitted
Let's
it.
give Alex
I'll
Caruso
admit
his
it.
headband. Here, Caruso, take that, brother.
That is good by you. While the boys are losing here, stay with me. Have you guys, I mean, who is the real cat? I can't keep up. Have you seen all these voice
Dude,
changes?
the Jeff Teague thing was so funny. Jeff Teague, by the way, his podcast is hilarious. If this is the first time you've stumbled upon it, he has some unbelievable stories from his time when he was playing. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the real voice is. Obviously, he did some streaming for a while there when he played video games.
Pistol, can you give us a little reenactment of the voice?
No, can't do it.
I think the public would love to see that. Come on.
I think our team behind the scenes can do it. Does anyone out there want to just have a go? No, they don't want to go.
They're out.
I
I don't know what. It's hilarious though. Jeff Teague was so funny.
Oh, it's very good. And there's two more, but obviously we've got our Cancun same gamer coming up on the PointsBet app in a second. But Jimmy Butler is currently in Cancun. Have you caught him with the card tricks?
Well, I love following all the Jimmy Butler stuff. As a big coffee guy, I wanted to get some of the merch and stuff he has with his coffee company. That is the most expensive coffee stuff you'll ever have to look at. I don't know why. He's got enough money. Surely he can make that more affordable. I thought he was quick to get to Cancun though, wasn't he?
He was very quick. He
got the snake. I don't even know how that magic trick happened.
That was unbelievable. That's one of the best magic tricks I've ever
If
seen.
you haven't seen it, is the car dealer just rolls out a little snake, and Jimmy Butler hates snakes, and that's why we think he
Shat his pants.
No. That wasn't what they
that's why
rehearsed.
he left Miami because he can't handle Raleigh.
That wasn't what they rehearsed, trust me. They rehearsed it a lot
We
better.
didn't rehearse it, but I just, gee whiz.
What was happening?
You're asleep at the wheel. And then the last one around the league, this is my favourite one, but the Jalen Brunson lookalike challenge in New York, and the winner gets 2 tickets to the game. And let's hope they can get a win. But man, have you seen?
There was some shockers.
There was 20 Timu Brunsons lined up. Can you imagine going home to your missus and going, hey babe, I just got to go down. Look, nothing like Jalen, but I'm just anything for these tickets because I can't afford them.
You'd be flat if you're Jalen too, because some of those, I'm just like, you're not even close. You just got braids.
Anyone with
You just
cornrows.
got braids. You're just like, oh, yeah, I'm Jalen Brunson. Oh.
So we can get the clip up there of the winner. I mean, his smile looks a little bit like Jalen Brunson.
Nah, because they were doing this in celebration to try and hide it.
Oh, there you go. Around the league. Keep sending them in. That's fantastic stuff. Boys, before we get to our PointsBet same gamer, our Cancun fun bet, I just want to go back to the games and just get a quick prediction on this last one. We've obviously got PointsBet here with the odds up, and they are predicting that the Knicks will get this done. And when I look at the odds, $1.56 with a line at 4.5. Clearly, and the over-under, only 222.5. So that's pretty low because last game went to 251 points. They're saying it'll be a low-scoring affair.
I think the Knicks will take care of business at home. And let's hopefully extend the series. That's why I think our Cancun fund has gone a little bit Knicks heavy because we're confident. This is also the best part about putting Knicks in your same games and stuff. They're going to play 48 minutes. They've got plenty of time to hit all your markets.
They're going to jack the shots, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
you say that, and then just out of nowhere, the coach is just
40
made a
points.
change. We're going to go deep. We're going to get a bench out. Just a bit like today when I need 1 rebound from Randle, and they rolled the bench out with 6 to go. You beauty.
Did you put him in for rebounds?
6 rebounds I needed, and they rolled the bench out when he was on 5.
Yeah, that's you betting with like, I backed him over J-Dub and he let you down again.
Oh, boy.
He's not good, mate.
Anyway, well, we're going to get to our Cancun fun, but as we said, with the NBA playoffs in full flight, there's no better time to check out the PointsBet app, the NBA bet tracker, single markets or multis. Follow your NBA bets live in the PointsBet app. PointsBet, built different. And I tell you who's built different, the 2 blokes next to me. Righto, boys, the Cancun fund, we've been asked to lock in 2 bets and with a little bit of juice that we can put up on the site and give all our listeners and viewers a chance to get to Cancun. And I'll start us off. Do you want to hear my 2 that I've locked in? I like Towns for 2 threes and Bridges for 2 steals. I'll talk to you why. Bridges is he's a steal merchant normally, but he had 0 last game. And
love the steal
he
market.
does love a block as well. But I feel like with them at home, the crowd, a bit like OKC today, there's a mentality difference. I reckon he's going to be the one that sets the tone on defense. And our man, Big Carl, like when he's just shaking when he just if you watch the slow-mo of him just shaking and passing the ball, I just think he'll hit 2 threes. I actually liked him for 3, but we'll just bring it back down to 2 so that I can do my job. Right, Pistol, I'll go to you.
Nembar 2 threes.
I like that.
You've been on that for a little while. I think
They leave
he's
him in
due.
the corner. They leave him
Yeah,
alone.
so again, worried about Halliburton, worried about Siakam. I've gone TJ McConnell 4 assists. Now, he's only had it once in the series, but he loves playing at MSG. And if we're going down this path where we think the Knicks are going to get this done, they might have him on a bit more late in the game, and he just loves to find guys. So you get some juice with that. We want some juice to get to Cancun. If we don't put, it's either Wagga Wagga. We go with like one.
Yeah, we're not going.
We're not going. We want to go to
love
Cancun.
Wagga Wagga,
Nothing against
we
Wagga
prefer
Wagga.
Cancun.
We
My
prefer
Partner's from Wagga
Cancun.
Wagga.
Yeah.
She might come after you.
Oh, jeepers.
Well, she's lovely, but we would prefer Cancun. I prefer the snake tricks for Jimmy Butler. That's very good. Well, there you go. So and then we've got Jeffrey to just top it off. What have you got? Because we need a little bit of juice from the other team as
A little bit
well.
of juice here. So I've gone Siakam 2 threes.
Oh, I like that.
He's been juice.
He's been hot.
He's been hot. And then my absolute lock is Brunson 2 threes.
Oh, there you go. Say that again with confidence, just so we can come back next week.
Absolute lock.
I actually agree. I think Brunson will have 2 threes. For sure.
Yeah,
Brunson
he'll
will
have-
definitely
Probably
have
the
2
best
threes.
one of them all.
Yeah, that is.
To
Well,
be
the
honest.
Pacers $30, so that's why. Now, if you put that on, I've just got our man Benny the
here we
Butler.
go.
He's flicked it through, and it's a juicy little same gamer. And that equals, guess what that equals?
I think we're looking at probably 20. No, we might even get in the 40s.
I was thinking $28.
You're hot.
45.
46. Oh, there you go. And if you got a little boost,
Spoken like
if you
a
got a little
punter.
boost, no
Spoken
doubt
like a
Jeffrey
punter.
does.
Yeah,
'cause
I love a little boost.
He's not the best punter. So he's got a couple extra boosts on the points bet up.
This is a low
so
job.
make sure you check that one out. That's on the Oz American Aces Hub and underneath that game when you check out the points bet app. Boys, this show's been elite. We are going to miss Cockman. I've told him to send some videos in while he's away. And
Doing a great
but
job
it's been,
commentary-wise
a big
too.
shout out to Cocky.
Only
It's been
Cocky.
elite having him on.
It's been a pleasure, mate.
And we'll look to get another guest on next week. If not us three, it's not too bad having three. It might be a bit
the
easier.
5 was absurd.
Yeah.
Pete was sitting on my lap that episode.
We'll figure something. There's a lot to talk about around the league too, depending on what happens the next couple of games. So we'll be back.
Love it. And look out for your punishment. I think we'll talk about that next week and then we'll hit it on the head. All right, guys, thank you so much for supporting us right here at Oz American Aces. We love all your comments. And to our man, Chris Campbell, I want to see your feedback. Who are you going with? Are you going with Chet, Williams, and SGA, or are you going with the OGs? Let us know. Keen for your feedback. And we'll get another video in like that last one because that was a pisser. Righto, guys. See you same time right here next week on Oz American Aces. Cheers.
You need your bodyguard to be quick. And Gas is as quick as they come. Still, he's not as quick as a PointsBet app where I can place my same game multi before he's had a chance to even... We'll call that a draw.
It's never been quicker to piece together an NBA same-game multi with PointsBet.
Memories.
PointsBet, built different. What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.